Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is a very special episode. So in this video, I'm going to be covering arguably the easiest way to ever learn a language, which is watching TV. Just watching TV. And the thing is with watching TV is if you do it right, you can literally just be sitting down with some chips, watching Netflix, and you can learn a lot. So let's get into it. So on a lot of my other videos, I've been getting a lot of questions revolving learning languages through watching TV. A lot of people are like, yo, I don't know what to watch. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I don't know, should I watch kids shows or adult shows or extra adult shows or like what? How can I learn that language, man? I've been trying, and watching TV sounds like a pretty damn easy way to learn a language. And like I said, it is if you do it correctly. If you just sit there and you watch, I don't know, Death Note, and you're like, oh my god, what's happening? What's gonna happen next? And you're not paying attention to the language, you're probably not going to learn much. But if you are actively, and this is what I like to call actively watching. If you're actively watching any TV show or any video in general, YouTube video, whatever, you have a very good chance of learning, strengthening your vocabulary, improving your listening skills, and TV shows, actually, media in general, is something I always like to preach, and this is probably the first thing I do whenever I'm going to learn a new language. Before, even, let's say my next language is Spanish. Before I get into Spanish, you know the things I'm gonna do? The one thing I'm gonna do? I'm going to search best Spanish TV shows. Now for me, I'm lucky. I got Narcos, I was the one on Netflix, Casa de Papel, or something like Papel, and all the thousands of dramas that are there. Maybe for your language, there's not too much TV shows available, or maybe there's even more, but there definitely should be at least a few good ones, unless you're learning something that's really far out there, but at least a few good ones. That's all it takes. So let's get into the first topic in terms of what you should watch and how to kind of find it. Should you watch kid shows or should you watch adult shows? It's a very good question. Kid shows, I'd say go for it if you are just extremely motivated, because yes, in the beginning they might be a bit more helpful for you in terms of strengthening your vocabulary and bulking up a little bit, but TV shows for kids, they're boring if you're not a kid. My personal rule is I'm not going to watch something in Spanish or another language that I wouldn't watch in English. So no, I'm not gonna watch some Chinese Dora the Explorer ripoff or something like that because it's a kid's show. I have no interest in that. I would not watch that if it was in English. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the most suspenseful, addicting TV shows in whatever language I'm learning at the moment, and I'm gonna watch the hell out of them because one, it's super easy to watch any addicting TV shows. Two, most of us already watch TV shows already, so you can just kind of replace those English TV shows with the TV shows in this new language, so you're really not spending too much extra time per day that you wouldn't already be spending. And just generally forcing yourself to watch something, forcing yourself to watch a kid's show, it's not good. Language learning is about having fun, and if you are forcing yourself to do anything, it's not gonna be fun, and that's a big part of why people quit. I got a tip for you guys. So Netflix has their own TV shows that they create, and any TV show that's a Netflix original, what they do is they go ahead and dub it in literally like 6 different languages. So Netflix is a great tool to use. For example, for me, I personally watched 13 Reasons Why with Anna Baker in French, and it really helped my French, believe it or not. But another side note, TV shows should only be really used as supplements. Please do not go and use a TV show as the only way that you're gonna learn a language. It's not gonna happen. Otherwise you're gonna be talking like Naruto. And then you're gonna go to Japan and people be like, who is this kid? Don't do that. They are supplements, meaning you should, and I talk a lot about this in my book, but you should go ahead and use a good beginner or intermediate program, depending on where you are at. That should be your main thing, and TV shows should be used as fun, as motivation, and as listening skill improvers, and also as a way to bolster your vocabulary. On the topic of subtitles, because a lot of people ask me this, a lot of people are like, hey, Ikenna, I don't know whether I should just watch, any TV show I want to watch with English subtitles. I mean, do you watch them with the subtitles of the language that you're trying to learn, or with no subtitles? How do you do it? This is my kind of routine when I'm a beginner, when I'm first starting with the language, probably for the first 3 to 9 months, depending how complicated the language is, I will not touch any other subtitles apart from English. English is right there. English subtitles, that's all you need. But as I get better and better and better and I reach the output stage, again, I talk about this in my book, but I'll talk about that later. Just to give you a brief overview, because kind of the stage where you're starting to get really comfortable with the language, you're starting to talk to online tutors to really improve your speaking skills and stuff like that. When you get to around that stage, I say probably 6 to 9 months in, then watching TV shows with either subtitles in the original language or with no subtitles is a perfect thing to do. So finally, you've got a dope TV show that you're about to watch. You know that you're gonna be watching it with subtitles because you're just starting off. But how do you actually get, you know, the words that are in this TV show to stick inside your brain? How do you recognize them? What should you do? So you're gonna have to make some notes, but not just any notes, and let me elaborate. So basically this is how I do it. I'm watching a TV show, so let's say it's a Japanese TV show. I see in the show, the main character yells out, "Yamero!" which means stop, right? He uses the whole hand emotion, stop, stop, and I hear that a few more times, and I'm starting to recognize that word as, oh, "Yamero," that means stop. You know, I can see the subtitle clearly says stop. So what I will do is I will search it in Google Translate, because if I think I heard yamero, I will type in, what is yamero, yamero, and if nothing pops up on Google Translate, then I'll go on to Google, just Google, and I'll go yamero Japanese meaning, and then I will see the meaning. Now I will go then, and I will go into my flashcard program. It's called Anki. It's super easy, super simple to set up, and I will create a flashcard. The front of the flashcard says yamero in Japanese, or whatever language, obviously, and the back of it is the meaning. Now this is where it gets fun. So Anki is a spaced repetition flashcard software. So basically, in simplest terms, it's a flashcard program that's algorithmically designed to refresh your memory when you're about to forget a word. So for example, you put in yamero, and then you do well. Every single time you see yamero in your deck, you go, oh, it means stop, it means stop. And then eventually you don't see yamero pop up anymore. But then 2 weeks later, it will pop up. And if you get it good, you still remember it, then four weeks later it will pop up. Then 3 months later it will pop up. So it essentially is made to train your brain to put something in long-term memory. And it's so helpful, so useful. I only really started using it around the time I started to learn French and Chinese, my last 2 languages. By far and large, one of the best things ever. So that's basically how you learn through watching TV shows. Now, I told you there's gonna be one kind of secret or not so well-known tip that I want to give you guys, and that is there are actually really dope websites out now that weren't out 3, 4, 5 years ago, that when you're watching a show or a video, they literally have the double translation. So they have English, then they have the words in the original language, and if you click on the words, then it tells you exactly what it means. So it's literally translating whatever TV show or video you're watching step by step, and you can just literally click on the words that they say. So the websites that have this are currently Viki. If you watch Korean or Japanese or Chinese drama, you guys know Viki. I believe for Korean and Chinese, they have this learn mode system, which is essentially what I talked about. There's also Yabla. Yabla has quite a bit more languages, and there's also Fluent U. And all these websites have this ability, and it literally is like a superpower. This is some 2019 stuff. Alexa, do you like this?
Those websites are my favorite.
If Alexa says it, it gotta be true. The cool thing about those websites as well is that you don't have to rely on your ears. Sometimes you hear yamero, but he's actually really said yamaru, and then you're like typing yamero into Google, and you're like, oh, what? This is not what it doesn't make sense. But with these websites, it's literally word per word translated. It is beautiful. It is really easy. But anyways, guys, that's my wisdom on TV shows. That's everything I know. So tips and advice like the ones in this video are actually also in my book that I wrote, Fluency Made Easy. So the book goes over step by step how to become conversationally fluent in nearly any language in 6 to 12 months. It is my 7 years of learning language wisdom just compressed in a single ebook that you can literally read in a day. And for me personally, I wrote this book for my previous 15-year-old self in mind. When I was 15 years old, I was starting to learn Japanese for the first time, and I wasted so much money, I wasted so much time just not knowing where to start, and not knowing how to kind of get to where I wanted to go, and what resources to use, what programs to use, all that. So I really wrote this for a previous me, and hopefully if you're in my situation, or if you're in the situation that I was in, you don't really know how to start off learning a language or how to proceed, or maybe you quit and now you're trying to get back into it, definitely check out the book. Right now, for the time being, there's currently a sale which is 60% off of the ebook, so definitely go check it out. A link is gonna pop up in the screen somewhere, and also there's also a link in the description. But guys, that is it. It is 2019, so that means more content, more videos. 2019, baby. I am happy. I am excited. This whole week I'm gonna try to do mainly language related videos and just see how it goes, and hopefully I can help you guys out. And hopefully this video did help you out. So take care, guys. It's been Ikenna Obi. Baka baka.